Hi, everyone, and welcome to the SLA Publisher Roadshow. Thank you for joining us for this session, which is our autumn term roadshow, all about middle grade titles. We've got a really packed programme with lots of very exciting books, so please sit back and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Claire Morrison, representing Quest Friends, an independent publisher of STEM Learning Adventure series for children. We specialise in creating engaging stories with interactive challenges or quests. I'd like to introduce you to the Super Questers, three ordinary friends who travel to Questland where they become superheroes. In each adventure, they use their STEM skills and lots of teamwork to complete quests to help their friends and the world around them. The two Super Questers STEM series are picture books for 4 to 8-year-olds and young fiction chapter books. Today I'm going to focus on our brand new Super Questers young fiction chapter books. The first came out in May 2025 and the second will be published in November. The books are perfect for fans of Peanut Jones, Leonora Bolt, Marv and Izzy the Inventor. Superhero enthusiasts, adventure seekers and problem solvers will also love them. Our action-packed STEM-themed young fiction books are embedded with real fun facts, brain-teasing codes and puzzles for children to crack throughout the story. Each book supports a national curriculum for Key Stages 1 and 2 and introduces children to a range of science, maths and computing topics, ranging in themes from nature, caring for the environment and health to robots and coding. These are all presented in an exciting and easy to understand way. Super Questers books feature diverse and inclusive role model characters who show that anything is possible with clear thinking, logic and perseverance. The first Super Questers chapter book, Mission Rivercrest Rescue, written by Paul Ian Cross, was selected for the Summer Reading Challenge 2025 book collection and has recently been shortlisted for the Teach Primary Book Awards. In this adventure, when three best friends, Lily, Leo and Bee, discover an old board game, Questland, their day takes an unexpected twist. Magically transported to the kingdom of Questland, they find themselves with superpowers. They have been summoned to save the village of Rivercrest, which evil goblin gardener Mortifer has set out to destroy. Can the Super Questers stop Mortifer's beaver bots building dams to flood the village? And what can they do about his lethal dragonfly drones sowing seeds of poisonous plants? With the help of Clover the Fairy and other magical creatures, the Super Questers must use their STEM skills, teamwork, problem solving and a little magic to solve puzzles, crack secret codes and outwit Mortifer on their mission to save Rivercrest. Children are immersed in the magical world of Questland as they will follow their adventure on the map provided. Along the way, the reader encounters fun educational facts and will help the Super Questers solve some STEM puzzles and crack some codes in order to defeat Mortifer and restore nature in the village of Rivercrest. In the second Super Questers chapter book, Mission Rainforest Magic, the Super Questers are on a mission to save a capybara in the rainforest. Their amulets whisk them away to a raft rushing down a raging river. Rescued by Jamak, the talking jaguar, he explains he needs their help to find a cure for his dear friend Puddlewaddle, the capybara, who is mysteriously ill. Can the Super Questers combine science and magic of the rainforest to save their new friend? Will they be able to gather the most important ingredient, magical dew, from the moon whisper flower before midnight? You'll find out on the 6th of November when the book is published. The book is filled with beautiful and engaging illustrations, including a detailed mission map and brain-teasing puzzles. There are also 4 challenges embedded within the story, and 4 experiments at the back of the book to try at school or at home. The Super Questers chapter books are written by Dr. Paul Ian Cross, an award-winning British author and scientist. Paul is a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, neurodivergent, and belongs to the chronic disease community. Paul lives in Brighton and is available for events. To finish, I wanted to highlight the Super Questers picture book series. This is for a slightly younger audience of 4 to 8-year-olds. Each book features 8 interactive STEM puzzles integrated into the story. These help children to develop diverse STEM skills and focus on a different theme per book, including hot air balloons, robotics and coding, renewable energy, and water pollution. Thank you for joining the Super Questers session. We have lots of free library and classroom resources available for you to use along the Super Questers books, which you can find on our website. Thank you again, and we hope you find your STEM superpower with Super Questers.
Hi everyone, I'm Ziggy from Cicada Books, and I'm here to present 3 middle grade titles for you guys at SLA. So the first title I am presenting today is called shoes. And it's about trousers. No, it's about shoes. And it's a very beautiful book, very beautiful, about the history of footwear. I'm just going to share my screen so you can see some of the spreads I talk. This book tells the history of footwear from early times throughout the 20th century, decade by decade, and it then follows on to the history of trainers. I mean, shoes are a fascinating window into fashion and therefore consumerism throughout the 20th century. And we focus on some incredible designers, including Andrea Perugia, Salvatore Ferragamo, we've got Chanel and Roger Vivier. And we see how both shoes and manufacturing and fashion have evolved through history. I think the illustrations by Daisy Winter are brilliant. They're incredibly informative. I'm just going to jump forward to the sneaker section so you can see how detailed they are. But they are also have a warmth and a humor to them that will make this book accessible to middle graders, but also to adults. As you can see, the object itself has a kind of universality to its look and feel. It's quite chunky and nice. So that is book number one. Book number two that I'm going to share with you is The Grand Hotel of Feelings Workbook. As you may know, Grand Hotel of Feelings was our bestseller. We sold rights in 25 territories. And this is a follow-up, and it's a charming activity book packed with things to color, complete, etc. Let me share the screen with you. So as you can see, we've got you can design your own manager's uniform, design your own hotel. You've then got to draw the feelings that we might be hiding under anger's bed. What is anger actually? What is the feeling behind anger? You can decorate the balloon of confidence with symbols of strength. Write the things that you are grateful for, etc. This is anxiety. What are all the different forms that your anxiety takes? A lot of the activities in this book have come from therapy and psychology resources that have been tailored to a young audience. We also have a child psychotherapist, Rebecca Earle, who consulted on this book. And it's a great book for parents, teachers, SEN specialists, etc., to get kids to engage with how they process emotions. There's a lightness of touch, as usual with Cicada's books, so it's not too heavy-handed, but there's also a real warmth and tolerance to it. I really love that on the cover there's this die cut. I think that gives it a lot of nice book feel. It's also not too slim. It's got some weight to it. So that is book number two. The final book I am going to present to you is called Flush It Down. And this one is the history of human waste. So we all poo, or most of us do, but we don't think about what happens to our waste when we flush it down. And this book is here to set that record straight. So it's a historical book. It starts in Neolithic times when we happily did our business in local rivers. But as civilizations evolved and villages became towns, became cities, this didn't really suffice. The Romans, as usual, had it nailed with a sophisticated sewage system under the streets of Rome called the Cloaca Maxima. But after the fall of the empire, all that knowledge was lost. And so diseases were rampant. And then we had the advent of the toilet. But we had no proper sewage system. And so the banks of the Thames were 6 feet high with raw sewage on either side. Eventually, the proverbial stuff hit the fan, and we had the Great Stink, which then triggered the incredible Great London Sewer, which is one of the most incredible engineering feats of all time, designed by Joseph Bazalgette. And so we then go from there into the science of sewers today, sewage treatment, and the challenges facing cities around the world. So it's an amazing subject matter. It ties into history and STEAM curriculums and also environmental issues. And it's illustrated by Rob Flowers, who is nothing if not fun, with humor and lightness and a kind of slightly horrible histories inside and a useful glossary at the back. And that is what I have to share with you today. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Frances Maloney, Senior PR Manager at Barrington Stoke, and I'm here today to run through some of our top titles for the end of 2025 and give you a sneak peek of something exciting that we have coming up in January 2026. First up is a brand new title from best-selling author Alistair Chisholm. We're delighted that Alistair is back on the Barrington Stoke list after the huge success of Reek, which was shortlisted for the Indie Book Awards and was the Times Children's Book of the Year. Blitzers is perfect for gaming fans, and it's also great for those who like Pokemon Go. Blitzers are a craze like Tamagotchis. They're little toys that when you put them together with your friends, they fight one another. The only problem is Danny's mum can't afford one, so he's delighted when his older brother manages to get him one, but there's something not quite right about his Blitzer Tulip. It doesn't like fighting, it runs away whenever he tries to battle it, and it has weird hobbies like flower arranging. But one day when Danny fights his Blitzer, it disappears and all the other Blitzers disappear with it. What has Danny done, and has Tulip caused a huge glitch in the system? It's up to Danny and his best friend to find out. This slide shows some of the amazing quotes that we've had for Reek so far. It's had a brilliant reception and we're hoping Blitzers will be just as popular with young readers. Next up, we have another returning author to our list, Catherine Johnson. Catherine Johnson is a best-selling author of historical fiction for young children, and she excels in bringing to life forgotten characters from the past. Her books for us, Race for the Frozen North and Journey Back to Friesen, have been hugely popular in schools. Now, Catherine turns her attention to a true superstar and phenomenon, Josephine Baker. Josephine grew up in a poor background in East St. Louis before she rose to fame and stardom as a performer, first in the US before moving to France due to segregation and discrimination in her home country. It was during World War II that she became a spy for the French resistance, using her place in society to eavesdrop on conversations of those in power. She was also later in life a huge part of the civil rights movement in America. And in this book, Catherine brings her story to life in a really interesting way, bringing out her unique voice. And we hope this will also be hugely popular with teachers. We've had some amazing coverage for this book so far, including a review in The Guardian just this weekend. Next up, we have something new for the Barrington Stoke list, a first book with author Phil Hicks. It's spooky season and this book is coming out in October, and as the title suggests, it is perfect for Halloween reading. The last day of October is set at Halloween, as the title suggests, and it is about a group of children who, instead of going trick-or-treating, decide that they will go to this creepy house in the woods on Halloween. And the story is that the ghost of a dead child is there. But what will happen when they go to this house? Phil is a master of the horror genre. This is a spine-tingling, creepy story that's bound to capture the interest of children, and we hope that you'll like it. And here is a glimpse of some of the super sinister illustrations from Oriel Vidal. And lastly, I have something we're very excited to share with you, a sneak peek of our lead title for January 2026. And I'm not going to say much else because I've got a video on the next slide where you can watch the author Steve Cole introduce his brand new book, New You Forever.
Hi, I'm Steve Cole. I'd like to share some details about my upcoming book, New You Forever. Now, it's set a little way in the future and follows the adventures of a young journalist and a young climate change activist as they fight to expose a terrifying high-tech conspiracy that could change the shape of humanity forever. If not just artificial intelligence, but artificial emotional intelligence were created, what possibilities does that unlock? Imagine if we could transfer our personalities from this decaying flesh and blood relic and shove it in a lovely, shiny, artificial body. A body that doesn't generate waste, that doesn't need food or drink, doesn't need to bathe, doesn't need to use the bathroom, doesn't feel pain, doesn't get sick. We could live forever and save the planet's resources while doing so. New You Forever is science fiction, but I can't help feeling some of its ideas and concepts are scarily possible. I'm hoping it'll start some good debate, and I wonder what you'll think.
Good morning. My name's Amy. I'm one of the marketing officers at Firefly Press, and I'm very excited to talk you through some of the middle grade we've got coming up in the early part of 2026. So to start, we have The Treasure Seekers. You may remember Digging for Victory, which was Kathy Faulkner's stunning debut verse novel that came out a couple of years ago. She's back. The Treasure Seekers is another fast-paced adventure, again written in a beautiful verse format, and here she is to tell you a little bit more about it.
Hello, my name's Kathy Faulkner and I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Treasure Seekers. Set on the East Yorkshire coast, shortly after World War I, it tells the story of Stanley and Martha and their urgent quest to discover the whereabouts of the missing ancient stained glass window that's been removed and hidden for safekeeping during the conflict. It's a story of friendship, of loss, of preserving the past and knowing when to let go. As a stained glass artist myself, I've always been fascinated by these beautiful windows and the stories that they tell. And I had so much fun researching the book up in Yorkshire, scouring the coast for possible hiding places for panels of glass and discovering all sorts of unexpected treasures along the way.
Next, I'm excited to tell you about a new classic series that we're launching, Firefly Classics from Wales. One of the first two titles that we're bringing out is a middle grade from Catherine Fisher, who, as you may know, has been writing fantasy for decades. So we are republishing The Candleman, which first came out with The Bodley Head in 1994. It's been out of print for a while now. We are rejacketing it with a fresh new series design and bringing it to a new audience, and we are very excited to do so. Next, in April, we've got Entangled coming from Emma Ray, who wrote My Name is River back in 2020, which was selected for the Summer Reading Challenge.
Hello. Entangled is a story about Thomas, who has a madcap caper through Venice to try and find and rescue his younger sister, who has recently become blind and has been kidnapped. Along the way, he meets another girl who's also been kidnapped, and together they set off on this adventure in an ancient crumbling palace. The internal journey that my protagonist Thomas goes through is to try to overcome the grief that he felt when his sister first became blind, because his grief is damaging their relationship and his own life, and it's not helping her. There's also quite a bit about ancestry or heritage in ways that it can be nutritious and helpful for children, and also in ways in which it can be damaging, as in the case of the antagonists. There's a carnival, there's a boat race, there's a lot happening, and there's quite a bit about the brain and how the brain works as well. Thanks.
Next up, you may have seen the news last week. We are publishing a new poetry collection from the wonderful Rhiannon Oliver in April, and the wonderful Chris Riddell has been commissioned to illustrate it, and we are so excited about this one. In May, we've got Questers Academy from Sam Hay. This is another fast-paced middle grade action adventure, this time set in the Natural History Museum. And lastly, for the first half of 2026 in June, we have the sequel to Tapper Watson and the Quest for the Nemo Machine. This is Tapper Watson and the River of Fire from the wonderful Claire Fayers. Now, this is a bit bonkers. It's absolutely joyous, and Claire brings her wild imagination to this mashup of Greek myth and science fiction. So lastly, I thought I would just show you a quick overview of the second half of 2026. These are our middle grade titles. Thank you so much for listening. My email address is now on the screen if you want to get in touch about anything at all. And again, thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Hello. Hi, my name is Naomi and I'll be talking about the new non-fiction that we have here at Be Small. So starting off with a book that published in July. This is the latest title in our Nature Investigator series, Bugs, Bugs, Bugs. This follows on from Shark, Shark, Sharks and Dinosaurs, 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 both hugely popular titles in libraries. So this title is a hardback title with 38 pages and it's perfect for children aged 5+. Having a look inside the book, this is what we've got on the contents page. So everything from ants and beetles to spiders and moths. We have included spiders even though they're arachnids, and finishing with a special glossary of bug words. Here we've got a sample of the many different kinds of bugs and what defines an insect. As you can see, really lovely bright colours, gorgeous illustrations of every kind of bug you can imagine. And here is a lovely spread about bugs who use camouflage, so moths are included here. And you can see the beautiful patterns that a lot of moths have on their backs that can look like eyes to scare off predators. In September, moving swiftly on, we have the perfect title for Halloween, which is coming up very quickly, Tales of Ghosts and Hauntings, which is the second title in our new real-life mystery reader series. This is a paperback with 96 pages and it's aimed at children 8 years plus. Now these two books, we've got Tales of Scary Beasts down here as well, are really special because they look and feel like fiction books, and they cover 6 bone-chilling adventures, but they're fully illustrated throughout and they read really, really well. This means that they really appeal to reluctant readers as well as avid readers, whilst still hitting that slightly older level of in-depth investigation, which is what you get from these books. I mentioned that these new books are part of our real-life mystery series. This was the first book in the series, which I'm sure many of you will be familiar with and might already have in your libraries, and one that we're very, very proud of as a very small independent publisher. It won the Blue Peter Book Award and was shortlisted for the SLA Information Book Award, and it was also included as a Book Buzz title. And following on from the success of this book, we published a lot more titles along the same critical literacy theme. Looking inside Ghosts and Hauntings though, you can see we've got 6 different chapters, each covering a different terrifying tale about ghosts. And as you can see, each story is fully illustrated, and we pulled out keywords like uncanny down here, with a little definition that also appear in the glossary at the back of the book. Here we've got some key quotes that we pulled out from key witnesses that readers can think about when they're reading the stories. So this gives it a little bit more context, makes it feel like a proper investigation. And at the end of each chapter, we've got a section where readers can consider all the evidence and decide what they think really happened. So this was the most popular thing about our real life mysteries book initially, was that critical literacy element, giving the kids all the evidence and letting them decide for themselves what they think happened, looking at all the evidence that they have, like key witness statements, real facts, and putting all those things together to think, what did actually happen here? Is this true? Is this a real ghost story? Moving on to October, we've just published these 2 books this week, and these are high energy quiz books with a game show theme. They're ideal for kids aged 6 and up, so if you know someone who knows all there is to know about space or the human body, these are the books for them. We've included lots of humour and gross out facts, especially in the human body book, which I'll show you in a second. So with these books, they're themed like a game show. You can play on your own or quiz your friends and family. This first spread explains how to host. And I promised some gross out facts, and we couldn't have a human body book without including some scatology. You can see here that each round is split into easy, medium and hard, depending on the colour of the questions, over here. And we've included all the answers at the back for ease as well. Finally, to finish off, here is a sneak peek at our first title of 2026, How to Speak and Be Heard, a Kids Toolkit for Oracy and Confident Speaking. This is part of a new series that will tackle critical literacy, media literacy and scientific literacy, and this title has been created in collaboration with the English Speaking Union. So watch out for this one in February. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.
And happy autumn. I'm here today to speak to you about some of our exciting new middle grade titles that we have publishing at Macmillan Children's Books. So, to kick us off, we have the action adventure of Indiana Jones combined with the time travel of Doctor Who. This is The Legend of Viking Thunder, the second title in M.G. Leonard's epic Time Keys series. Follow Sim and Jeopardy as they cross land and sea in a quest across Viking Norway. Illustrated throughout in black and white, The Legend of Viking Thunder is a gripping tale which can be read as a standalone and supports the Key Stage 2 curriculum. It is available now. Also out now, we have Marcus Rashford's Breakfast Club Adventures, The Movie Monster, the seventh book in the series by the England international footballer and best-selling author. In this spooky adventure, Marcus is excited to show off his football skills in a video for new students, but whenever he gets in front of the camera, a creepy creature ruins the shot. Follow the team of Breakfast Club investigators in a race against the clock to catch the monster and save the film. Written with Abiola Bello and packed with tons of illustrations by Marta Kissy, the Breakfast Club adventures are perfect for children age 8+. Now, looking ahead to 2026, Quill and the Last Generation is a stunning new epic fantasy adventure publishing in January, inspired by Welsh mythology. No babies have been born in 12 years and no one knows why. Everything changes the day 12-year-old Quill meets a young shapeshifter who opens his eyes to a world of myth and magic. This exceptional paperback fantasy series is written by award-winning author C.M. Lewis and is perfect for readers aged 9 to 12. Now, from our Rocket Fox imprint, we have Mixed. Explore and celebrate your mixed race identity. Join Emma Slade Edmondson, co-host of the award-winning Mixed Up podcast, as she guides readers to be their truest self, explore connections to their heritage, and discover the history of mixed-race people across the world. Featuring inspirational letters by mixed-race people from a range of cultural backgrounds, and filled with practical advice and engaging activities, this is a must-have book for mixed-race children and their families. It is out February 12th, 2026. And finally, I would like to finish the presentation by speaking to you about Find Your Drive by Billy Monger. Few people embody triumph over adversity as much as Billy. He became an F3 driver despite being a double amputee. He has raised millions for comic relief, danced in front of the nation on Strictly Come Dancing, broke an Ironman record, and competed in Race Across the World. Now, in his debut book, Billy wants to show you how incredible life can be when you break free of your comfort zone. Written with sports writer Seth Burkett, Find Your Drive is full of stories from Billy's life and advice that will inspire you to challenge yourself, overcome barriers, and build resilience. It's easy to read and packed with photographs and illustrations. Find Your Drive is perfect for fast and curious minds, whatever their reading ability. The book will be out in March 2026. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name's Natasha. I'm the PR executive here at DK Children's. I'm delighted to be here to present our middle grade highlights for the SLA Autumn Term Publishers Roadshow. This season we're focusing on some really fun fiction from DK Flip, some wonderful graphic novels, and also an essential self-help guide for young readers, which is coming next year, excitingly. So first up, we have The Witches of Anderson House. This is a brand new series of mischief and magic for young readers to get stuck into by the award-winning duo of Jenny Poe and Dave Lowe. Originally, this idea was created by Jenny Poe, and she's also illustrated and brought these characters to life. But Dave has also written this. Perfect for young readers age 5+, this is the first in a bewitching new chapter book series all about the retired witches that reside in Anderson House. In this book, we meet Myrtle Stormwhisper, who is a silver medalist for the triple loop at the Witch Olympics. She's certain that she's given up her broom for good until a mysterious knock happens at the door and her adventures aren't over. Jenny has some intricate and colourful illustrations which really bring this world to life. As you can see here, you've got character introductions, there's even an animal glossary, maps, which just make this world entirely immersive and such a fantastic read for a young reader. Next up, we've got Good Bits by Kes Gray, and in this one we're going to expect the unexpected in this highly original collection from the award-winning Kes Gray. It's a collection of story bites that will captivate readers and encourage them to delve into the endless possibilities of imaginative storytelling. In a world of increasingly decreasing attention spans, Kes is on a mission to instantly engage. With an immersive writing style that includes a multitude of genres from fantasy to science fiction, Good Bits will propel children of all reading abilities from page to page. From a spaceship into a black hole to a town that's plagued with zombie beavers, Good Bits point themselves in every direction imaginable. And children won't just want to read, but they'll want to read on and on and on. Everyone absolutely loves this dragon. This one's illustrated by Ruby Wright, and it's the most fantastic book, filled with these vivid illustrations, and it really throws you into each story bite that you kind of go into. Next up, we've got Best Buddies, Cabinhead and Treehead, who do everything together, from supporting each other's ideas to overcoming some very terrible challenges like their haircuts. A wacky and original concept by Scott Campbell, where his sense of humour is combined with bright and expressive artwork to create hilariously endearing characters and stories that young readers will love. Written in accessible and easy to read graphic novel format, this is a wonderful gateway for young readers and perfect for those who struggle with reading. Next up, we've got The Fact Finders. Now, this is a really fun non-fiction graphic novel series. This expedition is all about rainforests. Really fantastic format that we have with graphic novels because it just allows children to learn in a way that they don't really feel like it. It's a very visually exciting format that looks at each topic, this one being rainforests. We've had oceans and universe earlier this year. We've also got Planet Earth coming in November. So it's filled with bite-sized information, engaging characters, and some hilarious comics that just keep children entertained for hours and hours. And finally, we have a major title for older readers called Game Plan. This is the ultimate guide to gaining confidence, clearing hurdles, and achieving goals, covering tips on how to deal with stress, anxiety, and making big choices. So with over 200,000 referrals of children to mental health services in the UK, this book addresses a publishing necessity. So Jake Humphrey is a stalwart of British media, and his High Performance Foundation is teaming up with UK schools to bring this content over. This is a really wonderful tie-in that we've got with the PSHE, but also a really comprehensive step-by-step resource that helps kind of older readers and teens overcome any self-doubt. Thank you so much for listening, and if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is natasha.finn@uk.dk.com. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Scholastic's middle grade book highlights for autumn 2025. First up is Nora Night Sky, a funny, beautifully illustrated young fiction series about a star come to Earth to cause trouble. Ideal for readers aged 6 to 9, this is the perfect next step for Isadora Moon fans. Nora Night Sky is a star, literally. When a girl wishes on Nora for the first time, Nora rebels against the rules and sneaks down to Earth to give the girl a piece of her mind. Nora is a fun, bold, relatable character, and the book is packed with humour, mischief, and antics, with a beautiful friendship at the heart. Ella Jones vs. the Battle Noise is the next book from Lucy Edwards, a blind disability advocate and TikToker. An edge-of-your-seat, wonderfully twisty adventure mystery for fans of Percy Jackson and Scandal, as well as an empowering, empathetic story showing young people that disabilities do not have to hold them back. Ella Jones saved the world from an eternity of darkness in Ella Jones vs. the Sunstealer. Now she must face the god Homados, who is hunting Hercules' famous shield. The Case of the Dreaming Dragon is the next standalone book in the Elemental Detective series by award-winning author Patrice Lawrence. This is a stunningly imagined, action-packed fantasy adventure for fans of Nevermore and Neverwhere. Step into a London lit up by the elemental spirits, the fiery dragons, the airy fumies, the watery chads, and the earthbound magogs. Marcy and Robert, the elemental detectives, are back to solve a third mystery on the streets of multicultural 18th century London. A dragon is dreaming of a time when plague blighted the city, when a mysterious cauldron was used for wicked magic, and what this would mean if it would fell into the wrong hands now. Next up is The Skeleton Puzzle, a new twisty mystery starring the characters from modern classic The Goldfish Boy by critically acclaimed author Lisa Thompson. In this standalone story, the young detectives of Chestnut Close, Matthew, Melody and Jake, are back to solve another twisty mystery. When a long-buried skeleton is found in old Nina's garden, the kids are set on discovering who it is, how it got there, and who was responsible. Then old Nina's long-lost son turns up with his own kid in tow, which should be a cause for celebration. But are the pair really who they are claiming to be, or are they imposters? As Matthew, Melody and Jake investigate, they dig up a jaw-dropping secrets and uncover a plot to stash some priceless jewels on the close. Tom Gates' Pesky Pets and Parties is the brand new laugh-out-loud Tom Gates story featuring loads of doodles, 3 parties and some pesky pets, from Liz Pichon, the multi-million copy best-selling author and illustrator. My Big Fat Christmas Pooh Diary is the 4th book in Jim Smith's brand new colour graphic novel series for readers 7+. This time, join the Poopies for a Christmas Yule log delight, packed full of friendship, festive fun and toilet jokes galore. That's right, the Poopies take on Christmas in a brand new plot-tastic collection of stories celebrating the festive holidays. Barry Saves Christmas is a high-energy, brilliantly silly, fully illustrated festive adventure story by much-loved actor Stephen Mangan and talented artist Anita Mangan, the best-selling creators of The Fart That Changed the World and The Day I Fell Down the Toilet. Barry is a St. Bernard dog who prefers snoozing and farting in front of a cozy fire than going on daring rescue missions through high winds, driving snow and avalanches. When a mysterious elf seems set on sabotaging Christmas, Barry and his humans must stop him and save Christmas. Thanks so much for listening. For more information, please email publicity@scholastic.co.uk. Bye!
Hello and welcome to the SLA Roadshow Bloomsbury Children's Book presentation for middle grade titles. First up we have Impossible Creatures, The Poison King. This is the 2nd book in the Impossible Creatures series. From the winner of the British Book Awards Children's Book of the Year comes The Poison King. When Christopher Forrester is unexpectedly woken by a miniature dragon chewing on his face, his heart leaps for joy. For months he's dreamed of returning to Archipelago, the secret islands where creatures of myth still live. But he didn't know it would involve a rescue mission on the back of a sphinx or a plan to enter a dragon's lair. Nor did he imagine it would involve a girl with a flock of birds at her side, a newly hatched chick in her pocket, and a ravenous hunger for justice. Described as a rival to Tolkien, where every sentence sparkles, The Poison King is a dazzling 2nd book in the magical adventure that Catherine Rundle creates for young readers. This book publishes on the 11th of September 2025 in hardback. Second of all, we have Swanfall by Sophie Kirtley. This is a thrilling new adventure story inspired by Irish folklore from Sophie Kirtley, author of The Wild Way Home. Pip lives with Mum in their isolated cottage on the wetlands. Pip struggles to feel like he fits in at school, but at home, amongst nature, he feels like he can truly be himself. Just like every winter, Pip is waiting for the swanfall, when the flock of majestic Arctic swans return from Siberia on their annual migration. But this December, Pip's favourite 3 swans have not arrived. Instead, Pip notices strange footprints in the snow, whispers on the wind, and a sense that someone is watching him. Something mysterious is afoot, and the adventure to discover the truth leads Pip to follow clues to an ancient curse that he has always believed was simply a fairy tale. Sophie Kirtley grew up in Northern Ireland, where she spent much of her childhood climbing on hay bales, rolling down sand dunes, and leaping the raw Atlantic waves. This book publishes on the 6th of November 2025 in hardback. And finally, we have Rory Sparks and the Elephant in the Room by the infamous Hugh Bonneville. Buckle up for the adventure of a lifetime in the hilarious first children's book from Paddington star Hugh Bonneville. Rory Sparks is a boy with a head full of dreams. As he plots to help his best friend Guy earn enough money to buy the latest top-of-the-line model boat so they can set sail for South America, the circus rolls into town and everything spirals out of control. With Guy needing help doing odd jobs for the terrifying Madame Lowe, and with Claire, Rory's annoying older sister, planning a dastardly prank, will Rory's plans ever work out? Let's see. Just like Rory Sparks, Hugh Bonneville grew up and went to primary school in South East London, later studying theology and becoming a professional actor in 1985. His career has spanned over radio, television, film, and stage. But now grown up and verging on ancient, he would like to make it clear that he loves his sister very much, even when he sings. This book publishes on the 9th of October 2025 in hardback. Also publishing this year, we have the paperback of Sprouts, which last year published in hardback, Letters from the Upside by Katja Balin, The Fate of Finnegan Quick, which is the second book in the Finnegan Quick series, Ghosts in the Walls, which is a collection of short stories by various authors in conjunction with historical royal palaces, and Super Great Kid Stories, which is a collection of stories from around the world presented by Kim Normanton, the podcaster of Super Great Kid Stories. Then coming in February of 2026 is graphic novel Chicken Hill, Attack of the Zombie Cactus by debut author Becky Blake. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to request any of these titles, please email deborah.ogonoike@bloomsbury.com. Should be on the screen, and we will try to accommodate any requests. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Fritha from Usborne. I'm excited to be here to talk to you about our brilliant middle grade coming this autumn and into next year. The big bad wolf is dead, and what's worse, he was murdered. When his rival Ruby Red realises she's been framed for the crime, she goes on the run, determined to clear her name. This is a super pacey, fast tale crime romp from the best-selling author of The Train to Impossible Places, P.G. Bell. Next up, we have the stunning conclusion to the Book of Stolen Dreams series, which was inspired by a true story of childhood escape from an evil regime. The Book of Stolen Dreams, The Final Battle, which you can see on the end there, is from master storyteller David Farr. He's the acclaimed screenwriter of the BBC's The Night Manager and the former Royal Shakespeare Company artistic director. Here are David's German-Jewish ancestors. The Book of Stolen Dreams was shortlisted for the Waterstones Children's Book Prize, and it's on the current shortlist for the Trinity Schools Book Award for quality of writing. Return to the magical world of witches, royalty and curses in this spellbinding sequel to Witch Spark from author Dominique Valente. And praise for the first book in the series here. A fairy tale story of friendship, belonging and bravery in an adventure through a winter wonderland, The Snow Girl is publishing in paperback this November. When Tasha builds a snow girl with her grandpa, all she wants is for her to be real, if only wishes on snow could come true. It's Christmas! Join Anisha Accidental Detective to solve an extra special festive mystery filled with snowmen and secrets, crackers and clues. We have praise for the whole series here. And in Serena Patel and illustrator Emma McCann's new series, meet Pia, the girl who loves pets but isn't allowed one of her own. These funny animal adventures are for 7+ readers, and we have a World Book Day title coming in 2026. The Not So Great Escape is an hilarious and heartbreaking road trip adventure about friendship, grief and the stories we tell ourselves to survive. Headley has always played it safe, especially since the night that changed his life forever. But when his frenemy, Aidan, steals an angry alpaca, Headley is dragged on a runaway road trip that he did not sign up for. This book will make you laugh and cry, is perfect for fans of Ross Welford, Jenny Pearson, Adam Barron and Frank Cottrell Boyce. Lavender Wild is a magpie girl. She grows feathers, talks to birds and has a talent for finding lost things, but stuck in her tiny village she wishes for freedom. Rowan Foxwood is a stunning new voice, and her book is filled with magic and wonder. It's perfect for fans of Catherine Rundell and Kieran Millward-Hargrave. Always Angel is a powerful novel about second chances, friendship and finding the courage to rewrite your story. Angel finds school hard, she's always in trouble, but really she wants to be good. But it's hard to be good when everyone expects you to be bad. We have another cruise ship kid book from the horrible history star Emma Swan. Cruise Ship Kid, Kidnap at Sea is the second book in the series that's 50% crime solving, 50% friendship, which equals 100% fun. It's written in diary format, it's inspired by the author's childhood growing up on cruise ships, it's filled with doodles, activities, lots of space for children to scribble. It's Richard Osmond meets Tom Gates, set at sea. There was lots of love for Emma's debut, Cruise Ship Kid, Thief at Sea. The Overthinkers Club is a brand new series, super exciting, illustrated, packed full of lols, BFFs and lots of overthinking. It's told in diary style with hilarious doodles throughout. It's perfect for fans of Lottie Brooks and Dork Diaries. Our main character, Birdie, is an overthinker and she's got lots of worries to deal with. New friends, awkward crushes and the fact that she's going to be a teenager in 1 year. It's intense. So Birdie has created a happy list to tackle life's worries. Nat is a stand-up comic, so expect lots of lols with this series. We couldn't be more excited to be publishing the sequel to Sophie Anderson's best-selling debut, The House with Chicken Legs. In the sequel, The House with Chicken Legs Runs Away, we find Marinka coming to terms with inheriting the role of a Yaga, those who guide the dead to the afterlife. But something's very wrong. Her House with Chicken Legs isn't feeling well. It's pulled itself apart and it's run away. Travelling across far distant lands through new realms and magical places, Marinka must now face up to her fears to save her friends. But what if her house doesn't want to stop running? This is storytelling at its very best, a follow-up that might just outdo the first. 2026 is a big year for Sophie, with A Year of Fairy Tales also publishing in September. Solve the puzzles to find the gold in this thrilling interactive dragon riding adventure from the best-selling author-illustrator of Grumpfort. Jamie Hammond is an art director at Walker. He designed the Loki series, and there's praise here for his debut Grumpfort. Set 10 years after Mitch Johnson's international best-selling, award-winning and critically acclaimed debut Kick, Strike is an action-packed football book with heart about chasing your dreams and standing up for what you believe in. Thank you for listening. I hope you'll agree that there's something for everyone. You can scan this QR code to sign up to our librarian mailing list to receive proofs, review copies and news, and my email here if you want to get in touch about anything. Thank you.
Everyone, the voice you can hear is that of Catherine Allport. I am the publicity manager who looks after the PR and events for Guppy Books. Mini Guppy, I'm just delighted to be taking you through some of the titles that we've got coming up on our middle grade list this autumn. So starting with Amelia Cheeseheart. So this is the second book in this lovely series. This is aimed at 5+. The concept was dreamt up by Bella, who is the publisher at Guppy. She wanted to create some books that were a sort of stepping stone, a bridge between picture books and young fiction. These are highly illustrated. They're in a lovely cut down format, so perfect for little hands. She wanted books that felt like a challenge, so that they felt really rewarding when they were finished, but weren't so challenging that they were off-putting to children who are just finding their way into independent reading. So Amelia Cheeseheart was our first series that launched on the Mini Guppy list, and the Mini Guppy list is where we'll be publishing these sort of stepping stone titles for younger readers. The concept of Amelia Cheeseheart is that she is a mouse. She lives in a museum gift shop with her best friend Webster, who's a spider. And in each adventure, they investigate a mystery that is happening in one of the rooms at the museum. In Mummy Mayhem, which was the first book in the series, they were investigating a mystery in the Egyptian room. And for Chocolate Cheat, they are off to the Aztec display as part of their adventure unfolds. We also have Ice Age Alarm, which shockingly enough is set in the Ice Age room. And that is publishing in April next year. Mummy Mayhem was the Booksellers Association Children's Book of the Month in May, which got the series off to a great start. And we're expecting big things from Chocolate Cheat as well. They've been really, really well reviewed. Kat is an incredible storyteller. She's a teacher by trade, a drama teacher. And she does some fantastic events in schools, and I'm excited to be touring her in November. Nene is of Thai-Irish origin, and she's currently living in Reading, but also splits her time between Reading and Dublin. And she was named as an illustrator to watch by Children's Books Ireland this year as well. They are doing some joint events as well as solo opportunities as well. But this series is absolutely lovely. Full colour, cut down format, which is going to be a perfect little stocking filler. Moving on to another well-known book on our Guppy list. So this is for middle grades, for 7+. It's Pizza Pete and the Peculiar Professor, and this is the final book in the Pizza Pete trilogy. The first book was all about Pete, who has agoraphobia, and he is terrified of leaving his house. He hates going to school. He just wants to stay at home, which is his family's independent pizza restaurant. But when they find out that a big corporate pizza chain is moving into the town, it's going to put him and his dad out of business, and they'll be forced to move. So Pete decides that he is the one that is going to save the pizza restaurant from having to close, helped by finding a suitcase full of magic potions in his attic, so that he and his best friend Anna decide to create a lot of magical pizza toppings with hilarious and sometimes disastrous consequences. The first book in the series, Pizza Pete and the Perilous Potions, won the Week Junior Younger Fiction Award last year. Pizza Pete and the Missing Magic came out this time last year. Now we are wrapping up the trilogy with Pizza Pete and the Peculiar Professor. It's a really fantastic series, very funny but very warm, with a gentle exploration about bullying and mental health and grief and the power of family and friendship. Carrie's based in Hampshire. She does some fantastic school events, including very sort of interactive inventing your own pizza topping game, and it's best suited for Key Stage 2. On to the Big School series by Lisa Williamson. So some of you will know Lisa from her standout YA debut, which was The Art of Being Normal, which published in 2015, but this is her series for middle grade. The concept of Big School is that it focuses on a different child protagonist in each book as they make their transition from primary school to secondary school to Big School, in this case the Henry Big Academy. You can see what we did there. So the series has an alternating female-male protagonist, so has a universal appeal and deals with different sort of issues within each book. The issues, for want of a better word, they're dealt with very gently. They're not hammered home. They're not the whole book, but they're sort of looking at anxiety, looking about divorce, coping with divorce, how friendships develop and change. And in Selfie Queen, which is our 5th book in the series, is just published in September, as the title would suggest, is looking at screen time and about appearances and how appearances can be deceptive. What's very interesting about this one is that the main character from Selfie Queen, the main focus of the book, is Cleo. And Cleo is actually the antagonist from Best Friends Forever, the first book in the series, and is a real sort of lesson to both the reader and also to the characters in the book about not judging someone necessarily by what they put across, but actually thinking about what might be going on behind closed doors. Cleo is very confident. She's quite rude, quite bullshitty. In Best Friends Forever, very beautiful and knows she's very beautiful. But actually, Selfie Queen delves into a little bit more about why she is the way that she is, and it's not always happy behind closed doors. These are absolutely fantastic. Lisa has been compared to Jacqueline Wilson, which is pretty much the highest accolade that you can get, I think, in terms of her writing. She does brilliant events. She's an actress. Some of you might remember the John Lewis advert with the penguin. She was the mum in that. And she has been up and down the country since the book's first published, talking to children in years 5, 6 and 7 about her own school experiences and the inspiration behind the series. They are brilliant, and we are really excited to be publishing book 6 and book 7 in 2026. I know that the presentation today is about 2025 titles, but I just wanted to give you all a sneak peek at a new series that is launching on the Mini Guppy list next spring. This is Fairy Tale Fiasco by Miles McLeod and Evgenia Gulabieva. Now, this is we know that fairy tales continue to be incredibly popular. The stories are very familiar to students from early years all the way through to years 3 and year 4. but a nice modern retelling is always going to go down well, and that is exactly what Miles and Ev have done. This actually started as a concept for animation for TV, which is Miles and Ev's background, but has found its way into the young reader format. And we are introduced to Cleo. You can see her on the front covers of the two books. Cleo can launch herself into any fairy tale, accompanied by Bookmark, her trusty sidekick, and fix any of the problems that are occurring. For example, in Hansel and Gretel, Cleo decides to try and persuade the Wicked Witch to use her baking powers to enter baking competitions and not bake children. They are full colour, really lively, full of energy, really, really fun, and we're really, really excited about having these on the list for Mini Guppy next year. And that is it from Guppy for the rest of 2025. We have a huge year coming up in 2026 with double the number of titles publishing than we have had in previous years. So watch this space for more info from us during the spring. If you've got any questions, if you're interested in any Guppy authors or our Guppy Schools programme, then do give me a shout. My email address is at the start of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining today. I'm Hannah and I'm the Head of Marketing and Publicity at Flying Eye Books. For those of you who don't know us, we're a children's publisher based in East London, publishing for ages 0 to YA with a focus on highly illustrated books, including comics, graphic novels, fiction and non-fiction. So, without further ado, let's explore our brilliant collection of upcoming middle grade titles. Out just last week, something we don't normally do, this is The Knotted Island, a stunning debut by Catherine Child. It's a gorgeous, highly illustrated fiction title that reads like a classic. I gave you a sneak peek of this title in our last roadshow, and now it's finally out in the world. For a very long time, the world was black and white. Last Island is struggling. Colour has not reached them, their knot is making mistake after mistake, and now an automated night sky salesman has come to town. It's time for Umber Tiscalup, Tisky, a young islander with pockets full of cake, to take matters into her own hands and embark on an adventure to bring unity and colour to Last Island. This is a book that is truly beautiful to hold in your hands and is filled with breathtaking illustrations that transition from black and white to colour as colour arrives both to Last Island and our book. We've already received a lot of great feedback on this title, including a review in The Telegraph which called Child a superb storyteller. We hope you take this sweet tale into your heart as much as we have. And coming this November, we have the much-awaited sequel to the Waterstones Children's Prize category-winning Rune, The Tale of a Thousand Faces. In Rune, The Tale of the Obsidian Maze by Carlos Sanchez, we follow Chiri and Di on their next adventure to vanquish the sinister Midnight. Packed full of Carlos's signature bright colour palette and magical creatures, this next adventure is sure to delight fans of the series and of fantasy comics as well. For those unfamiliar with the series, our protagonist Chiri and her best friend Di are new to the land of pudding and are learning how to be their best magical selves with the guidance of their new friends. Chiri is deaf and speaks using sign language, which is shown clearly through the illustrations and can be read in the yellow speech bubbles. In the land of pudding, her ability to speak sign language gives her a head start in rune-based magic, which she is exploring even further in this latest instalment of the Rune series. Thank you so much for listening to me today. If you do have any questions, please get in touch. Thank you.
Hi there, this is Danny from Rock the Boat. I've just got a small presentation, a real special mention for middle grade. This is A Good Girl's Guide to Spying by Holly Webb. So, A Good Girl's Guide to Spying by Holly Webb. This is a lead title for Rock the Boat next year. We're really super excited about it. It is such a great read. This is by best-selling author Holly Webb. She's the author of those animal stories series, which just do really, really well and are really well loved by readers. I think this is going to be fantastic. It's set in World War One. It's about Phil and her younger sister Annie. They join the Girl Guides really at the start of the guiding organisation, and they're looking for adventure despite their parents thinking that the guides are unladylike. Starting soon after the First World War, the sisters are swept into a bigger adventure than they bargained for when Phil is recruited as a message for MI5. And Annie embarks on an investigation of her own, suspecting family who run the local haberdashery shop of being German spies. So yes, this is based on historical fact. The Girl Guides did work undercover for MI5 during the First World War, and Holly has written this with great passion. She has been involved in the Girl Guiding Association like since she was a child, and now she's a Girl Guide leader, and she just feels like so passionate about guides and about everything they do now and what they've done then. But on top of that, it's just like a really great pacey mystery, perfect for readers of the unladylike mysteries, and just a really great historical piece of fiction. It's coming next February. Thank you.